applied to her position of the human rabbit warren which filled a corner of two of Fulham's least pleasing thoroughfares. "If Bobbie could earn his own living, you'd be able to afford something much better," he snapped back at her. She knew he was thinking of the small allowance he made her, and winced. "What with my contribution and your pension, even a little assistance from your son would make all the difference in the world, Ruby. And you know it." He shifted his position to the right of the fireplace and stared at the remnant of his cigar. "He's been so unlucky, Massy." She flushed as she suppressed her anger. "Nonsense. I can't understand why you should be clever enough in everything except the one thing that matters, Ruby, and that is your son. You've spoilt him from the day he was born, and look at him now. And in spoiling him, you've spoilt your own life too. Don't tell me you couldn't have married. And why, you're still handsome and attractive, with a son in his 20s. How'd you keep your figure, without giving your face that drawn, bloodless look which so many women have? Fulham must be healthier than Broadbridge." He sighed with self-pity. "Life's nothing but worry on top of worry. A landowner nowadays, Ruby, is a compulsory philanthropist." He sighed again, and added the unsmokable portion of his cigar to the lingering fire. Ruby Cheldon winced as she detected the hint not to broach the subject of further assistance. "How can I help spoiling him?" she asked abruptly. "He's all I have. You've never done him justice, Massy. You've never appreciated the fact that he never knew his father." There was pride and pity in her large, dark grey eyes as she looked him straight in the face. "I've never forgotten that his father was a gallant soldier, and that his mother is only foolish when her son is being criticised. She wants all the world to believe that he is perfect." "Everybody likes Bobbie," she said almost sullenly, "and he's a gentleman." "Are gentlemen scarce in the Cheldon family?" he asked curtly. "He ought to have gone into the army," she said, ignoring the question. "But the army means examinations and hard work and obeying orders. And if I may say so, my dear Ruby, you brought up Bobbie on the principle that the only orders worth obeying are his own. Come, Ruby, it's time you wakened up. Here's your son, without a penny of his own, proposing to marry a dancer from a nightclub. Do you seriously tell me that you approve?" "Of course I don't." A new note in her voice impressed him. "Then you don't wish me to make it possible for him to marry this lady from the lower regions of some insanitary building in the environs of Piccadilly? Of course, I shouldn't do anything of the kind," he added hastily, fearful lest her sense of humour should fail her. She moved from her chair and stood beside him. "Bobbie is bringing Nancy Curzon to see me next week, and I wish you could see her too. I'm perfectly willing to meet the lady, but supposing she captivates us all and we become anxious to rope her into the family, the question will then arise, what can Bobbie do?" She looked pensively into the air. "It goes without saying that he can drive a car," he said dryly. "He drives beautifully," she answered, the irony in his tone escaping her. "And he knows how to dress," she added irrelevantly. "And I bet he also knows half a dozen nightclubs and how to mix at least 10 different cocktails. These alleged social accomplishments, my dear Ruby, have the merit of impressing the lower middle classes, but in a sordid age are not regarded as qualifications for the salary Bobbie naturally expects in his capacity of gentleman." She was not listening. A lifelong familiarity with his vocabulary and humours, as well as humour, rendering such attention unnecessary. She had caught a sound from the next room, and guessed that Bobbie had decided that her allowance of time for the purpose of bringing his uncle into the frame of mind essential to the experiment in generosity had lapsed, and that he must now make his appearance on the scene. "Bobbie's got to realize the unpleasant fact that he must take off his coat and forget his gentility.